It was a Saturday night when I received the text from my wife, Vanessa. Then divorce me. My eyes widened, but I didn't panic. Nightclubs, loud music, and alcohol tend to magnify emotions, but the words still cut deep. I stared at my phone for a moment, letting the weight of her message sink in. There was anger behind it, defiance, and maybe even a challenge. She wanted to see how I would react. I felt the urge to fire back, to demand answers, but I held myself back. Instead, I replied calmly, "Okay, we can talk when you get home." That was all. No arguments, no pleading, just quiet control. Then I waited. I went on with my evening, half watching television, sipping my drink, letting my calm act as a mirror to her impulsive outburst. What followed shattered her confidence completely. Within minutes, my phone began buzzing nonstop. Vanessa was calling, texting, sending voice notes. I didn't respond. I knew panic would force out more truth than anger ever could. About 15 minutes later, she showed up at our front door, soaked in sweat, hair disheveled, eyes wide with fear. She banged on the door, shouting my name. "Open up, please! I didn't mean it!" I opened the door slowly, as if I had all the time in the world. She stumbled inside, shaking uncontrollably, nearly collapsing. Her nightclub bravado was gone. The woman who had texted me with careless defiance now stood in front of me, terrified. Her confidence had dissolved into pure panic. I watched her in silence. No accusations, no raised voice, just calm. In that silence, she realized she had unleashed something she couldn't control. My composure. Her words spilled out in a rush. "I was joking. I didn't mean it. I don't want a divorce. It was the music, the crowd. I was—" I lifted my hand gently. "Stop," I said softly. She froze, stunned that I wasn't yelling or arguing. My calm carried more weight than shouting ever could. "Do you understand what you just did?" I asked. Tears filled her eyes. "I didn't think," she whispered. I nodded slowly. "Exactly. You didn't think. You sent a message that could have destroyed us in a moment of recklessness." Her panic deepened as the reality set in. She had assumed I would react emotionally, that I would beg or lose control. Instead, my steady demeanor forced her to face the consequences of her words immediately. Vanessa sank onto the couch, covering her face with her hands. "I can't believe I sent that," she murmured, her voice shaking. "Everything felt overwhelming. I didn't want to hurt you." I watched her closely, my heart racing, but my expression unchanged. "Feeling overwhelmed doesn't give you the right to threaten what we have," I said. "Those words aren't jokes. They matter." She nodded slowly, realizing how badly she had crossed a line. Her face grew pale as she remembered every word she had typed. Panic consumed her. She understood that she had tested me, pushed a boundary, and nearly lost control of our marriage in an instant. She also saw that calm observation could be far more devastating than confrontation. For the first time that night, she truly grasped that her actions carried consequences far beyond a moment of nightclub bravado. My silence reflected her recklessness back at her. Minutes passed as she sat trembling, fingers tangled in her hair, phone clutched in her hand. "I don't know what to do," she whispered. I stayed seated, watching her unravel. "Do you feel the weight of what you did?" I asked. She flinched. "Yes," she said softly. My calm was crushing her ego and impulsiveness. She had expected an argument, not silence. She realized her fear and regret were self-made, and I wasn't giving her anything to argue against. Her panic was entirely her own doing. She had tested me, and now faced the consequences. I finally spoke again, quietly. "Tonight you learned that words have power. A careless message can destroy trust. Calm and control will always outweigh chaos." She shivered, knowing this lesson would stay with her. Her eyes met mine, wide and shaken. "I was wrong," she whispered. "I shouldn't have sent that." I nodded. "Exactly. You acted without thinking and threatened something important." She broke down, sobbing, realizing I hadn't raised my voice or begged. My calm stripped away her excuses, leaving only the truth. Regret overwhelmed her. "Please, I don't want to ruin us," she cried. I remained steady. "Then don't act recklessly. Words can destroy or heal. Choose them carefully." She understood then that her panic was the direct result of her own message. That night, her respect for me and her fear of crossing boundaries were firmly established. Vanessa buried her face in her hands, trembling and apologizing. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. The lesson was written all over her fear. My calm had become something she couldn't manipulate. For the first time, she saw how impulsive behavior could backfire instantly. She had tried to test me, to provoke a reaction. Instead, she discovered the strength of composed patience. I let her sit with that realization. Tears and regret replaced the confidence she had shown earlier. That night, the balance of our relationship shifted permanently. She learned that recklessness has consequences, and I learned how silence can speak louder than confrontation. By early morning, she was calmer, but still shaken. I made her a cup of coffee and sat beside her in silence. No anger, no lectures, just calm. She looked at me with relief, fear, and renewed respect. "I won't send messages like that again," she whispered. I nodded, knowing the lesson had been learned. That night changed everything: her view of me, her understanding of boundaries, and the balance of respect in our marriage. She had tested me, and my calm revealed her recklessness. By dawn, her impulsive arrogance had been replaced with awareness and humility. And I realized that sometimes allowing someone to face the consequences of their own actions is far more powerful than any argument. That night, she rushed home not to make excuses, but to face the truth.